Check out thechosenprime.com in the link in the description below for this and other great items.
Alright, welcome everyone to another Radio Free Cybertron review, RFC Reviews. I'm your host, Diecast, and today we have a very special review. This is a TFCon exclusive. The first time it was sold was at the show, and there's going to be 500 of these released in the US, and then I believe another 500 overseas. So it's only 1,000 pieces being released. And this is Planet X's Hephaestus, which is the proper way of saying it compared to the way I was saying it at TFCon, because it just looks like on the box, if you look at it real quick, at least to me in my sometimes dyslexic state, is hepatitis. So at TFCon I was going around saying everyone had to get hepatitis, or, hepatitis was the show exclusive, and, looks really good. It's kind of red and looks irritated, but I really like the colors on this guy. The green is absolutely amazing. It looks like it would glow in the dark. It's such a nice color green. They got it on the side of the arms here. They got it on the back of his head for light piping. On his nose for the Autobot insignia that you could put there if you want. Even on the back of the legs, there's some painted in green. It's not the same, but it is, really nice touch on this figure. Really nice paint. Let's just go ahead and get the box out of the way. So it is a standard. If you've seen Planet X, this is their kind of style of box. And, on the top, you don't get much. On the back, you just get what looks like the inside of Grimlock's chest, maybe? I don't know. Nothing on the bottom. A little bit on the sides there. Sorry about the shadow. On the back you kind of have, on this side you have some of the same things with some warnings. Ages 15 plus. Apparently overseas, I don't know if a lot of people know this, someone told me that lives overseas, if you see a toy in a box like this where you can't see the toy, it's a collector's item. If you see a toy and you can see it in the packaging, like I just have a Generations toy here, like this is a toy for a kid. So that's the differentiation between the two. That's why we don't see a lot of third-party companies doing window boxes. Or if they do a window box, they make sure they have a flap over top of it. That way they don't get anything, where the toy's showing, sitting on the shelf, or what, if it's actually in a store. And then get our friend Hepatitis back over here. And here he is with his collector's card. And this also comes in packaging. It is a little thin, but it's not to the point where, I can bend it and it'll still come back to shape. So, not as thick as I would have liked it, but seems like a very nice card. You get a nice picture of Hephaestus for the rest of us, right there, if anyone caught that Seinfeld reference. And then you do get some tech specs on the back. I'm not going to read them, but you can pause if you really care about the tech specs. Obviously, his strength is his main skill. And again, let's take a nice look at Hephaestus. This is my first Planet X figure, so just to do a size comparison, because I have Legends Blur. Or not Legends Blur, Titan Master Deluxe Blur here. You can kind of get a scale of what he looks like. So I don't have a Voyager laying around either, but he's larger than Voyager, definitely larger than the Deluxe. So let's just go ahead and get in real quick on the head sculpt. Real nice head sculpt. Love the green visor, again, just really, really nice. His head is on a ball joint. Can't look down too much just because of his mask, but can get a decent amount looking up. You can go from side to side fairly nice. His arms can go a full 90 degrees out, which is really nice. This is also on a joint right here. Get some extra articulation from that. His arms can do a full 360. No ratchets, but no. Yeah, I mean, you can shake it. His arm can go down, but he also has the shield, which adds a significant amount of weight on his arm. If he doesn't have anything, his arm's not going anywhere. And like I had, you can just peg the shield right in on the side there. Then he does have a bicep swivel, and then he has a joint right on the inside of the arm right here, and one right above there, which, because his arms are so big, it just gives you a little bit more than 90 degrees, but not much. He's not much more than 90 degrees, but the double joint is nice, because if that wasn't there, you wouldn't even be able to get 90 degrees. So really appreciate them putting that in. Hands are on a mushroom, so the only thing you get is spinning, and all four fingers and thumb. The thumb doesn't move, and the four fingers just open and close. He does have a waist articulation, so you can spin his waist full 360. And he has the typical leg articulation that you would expect, forward, backward. He's got a full rotation right above the knee. And this is the only ratchet that I've heard so far, right in the leg there, and you can get just about 90 degrees. I mean, that might be a little bit less. Everything does move to get out of his way. The kneecaps here move out of the way, or the knee shields, however you want to say that. And then we just come down to the foot, and the foot also has some up and down and some waggle side to side for your ankle tilts. Us collectors love the ankle tilts, so just having it there. I really like how the tail, forms part of the heel. He has got a really significant foot, and he's leaning forward a lot right now, but he's not tipping back easy, and he's got a large amount of baggage on the back there. So really, really, really nice. Definitely worth picking up. He is only available on the Chosen Prime's website, which actually just went up either yesterday or today, the remaining stock from TFCon. I don't know how many they have left, but I know they sold a good amount of this because it was a show exclusive and because of how nice it is. And for me, this was a figure to kind of go into Planet X when I never had any of their figures yet. And this was one that, like, hey, I don't really have to have all the other figures to go with it. So it was a good time for me to jump into Planet X and see what their quality's like. And I'm really impressed. Again, it's just really nice looking figure. I think he appeared in a comic in this color one time. Someone's going to tell me, I'm sure, in the comments below if I'm right or not. So I'm not even going to bother to look it up. I'm just going to make you guys do my job and wait for the comments to pop up. So that's that's one nice thing about this. I can do that. So let's go ahead and get him transformed. And nice thing about this sword is has this little piece on the bottom to unclip it, it just slides through his hand, because if you can see, his hand is slotted. And what you don't want to do is try and push this into that slot, because it won't go in. So what you have to do is just slide it through, and then you can close that up, and that allows him to hold it, and he's not going to drop that. I can't even force it out of his hand. And then you just close up the finger. So it's not actually using the fingers to hold the sword, which is really nice. And I prefer this over possibly having a loose sword or gun in his hand. So if this was, the only way to do it, I appreciate that they did it that way. Sword has some nice silver paint on it. This nice clear yellow or translucent. Some translucent yellow here on the sword to match. Would have been great if they could have did this in green too. I would really like that. But let's go ahead and get his sword out of the way. And then we'll just get into transformation. Alright, let's get on to transformation. Now this is something that can be frustrating the first time you go through, especially because the instructions for me were not that easy to follow. So let's go ahead and start transformation on this guy. First thing you can do, you can come to the arms, get them all ready, straighten them out, put the hands in. These panels just untab and then tab back in. Same thing on this side to cover up the hands. You can rotate these around. Rotate them around, and then you're also going to rotate the shoulders, I believe. Just like that. And then come down to the legs. And this is one of the most frustrating parts about the transformation. There's a heel right here. The heel really doesn't do anything because it can go up further than the back of his tail, which acts as a heel. So I'm not sure why this piece is there. You can kind of see they have ports on them for some reason. Maybe something they were going to do and didn't, or something they plan on doing. But I just closed that up. We're going to open up this back section right here, and then the foot. So I'll turn this around. What you have to do is there's a panel there, and it's easier if you try and rotate the panel instead of the foot. Just rotate the foot with the panel, if that makes any sense. All the way around. And that time it wasn't that bad. This is, I've transformed this obviously a couple of times. So maybe that's why. One foot was definitely harder than the other. I think it was this side, because I do have, oh no, yeah, it's this side, because I tore up some of the plastic on the edge, just trying to get everything moved around. So we'll do that one more time. Flip this foot around. And you can see that the edge on mine is getting a little stuck. And this foot does not want to rotate around, and I kind of have to force it. Unlike the other side, I don't know if the plastic is, the tolerance is just a little bit tighter on this side, I guess. And it might help to just kind of stretch the two side panels a little bit, give you a little bit of extra room. And like I said, once you do get that flipped around, the panel should be straight. And the panel seems to be stuck right now. It's funny, you see how on the other side the foot really didn't give me a problem. There we go. And on this one, this side, this particular foot on mine just doesn't really want to rotate around like it should. But then you get this panel and it's flat, and you can see that corner that I just nicked up a little bit. That wasn't on this transformation, that was on the very first transformation. So that is, luckily that is the hardest part of the transformation. So let's go ahead and bring these up. And these are going to go, and as you bring the legs up, one of the things you have to do is rotate this piece around. Now this one side is a little scary because you gotta stretch that plastic around that piece right here to get the tail around to the back there. We'll do the same thing on this side. Just flip this piece up. You can even tab the legs together if you want, just to give you a little bit stability. And then this side isn't that bad, the piece isn't as long, but you can flip that around. And then before we bring the knees all the way up, we'll come up to the chest. You just want to untab this chest section and it'll drop down. And now you can come around to the back and get his dino head ready. We're just going to untab this piece right here. It angles up and down. And you can see the two tabs on each side that hold it together. I'm really impressed with the backpack and the way it comes together and the way it fits on him. It doesn't even seem like a backpack. Even the chin kind of fits in his back the proper way, so there's no odd gap or anything like that. So now that we got the head out like this, just going to rotate this whole piece around. Also going to flip Grimlock's head around just for clearance, and then you can go ahead and bring this whole piece around. And then everything will start to tab together on its own. You bring down that brown piece again, bring this extra neck piece up. Then there's also a little neck piece right here that flips down. So again, very nice cohesive neck that you end up getting out of this. We'll just move these little dino arms up a little bit. And now we'll come to the back. And apparently I had this rotated the wrong way, so now you're just going to bring these legs in, and they will tab here and here right under these panels that we first flipped over with the feet. And then there are some panels on the side here, right there. Grimlock's leg is kind of in the way. And they will tab into the side on both sides. So you get that all tabbed in. Just like that. Just like that. And then this piece will fold down and tab into these two holes in the front there. And you may have to push his neck back a little bit just to get that locked in. And then you can just go ahead and make sure everything's still locked in. because for me, this this neck panel here can come undone. So just gonna try and get that repegged in. There we go. Put that down. And now all we have to do is come back to the tail, and these tail pieces will extend out just like so on both sides. And then this tail piece becomes the top, and this one becomes the bottom. And as you can see, there's just tabs and slots that will line up just to put everything all together. It's just a question of getting everything lined up and tabbed in. And there you have Grimlock's tail, and it still has, even though it tabs in 3 or 4 places, it still has a boatload of articulation. You can even get a little up and down with the tail if you want. There are boosters on the back here, little rocket boosters, so Grimlock can take off just like in the game. And of course it is a repaint of, you know, Grimlock, so that's why I keep saying that. But these cauldrons can come up to fill in the side, and there you have Grimlock in his dino mode. Can click the legs forward just like that. Gives a little bit more detail, brings in a little bit different paint, and then I like to forward or put the bottom feet forward just like that. That gives him more of that T-Rex stance. And again, the dinosaur mode on this is just absolutely amazing. They really did justice to the War for Cybertron, or the Fall of Cybertron Grimlock, because it's amazing. The transformation could be a little bit better, especially with the feet on mine, and you know, that could just be my version and you may not have a problem with it at all. But the green translucent eyes on him, the amount of movement in the neck, you can do a forward 360. There's no gappy panels or anything on this guy. Everything just looks spot on, and he's really nice in this red color. I'm really happy I picked up this this TFCon exclusive from the Chosen Prime, and my first Planet X figure. In terms of quality, it's definitely nice. It's not quite up there with the big boys yet, the Make Toys or the Fans Project, or the plastic feels nice. Nothing feels like it's gonna break. It just a little bit of clearance issues. That's the only main problem I have with this guy, is those clearance issues. So the head can go all the way up, all the way down. You can get his mouth open really far. Nice sharp teeth. Little flamethrower in his mouth. Again, that neck panel does tend sometimes to come undone a little bit. Sometimes you get lucky and it tabs in super nice, and then you're good. But the legs can do, again, full 360 due to them becoming the arms. You have the bend here and the bend here, but I like to use that first bend for dinosaur mode. It just seems the most appropriate for that. And then he has little dino arms. They're on a, it looks like a swivel. And then a peg, so you get the in and out movement. Bend at the elbow, and then the fingers are, looks like on a pin also, so the thumb doesn't move, just these two top fingers move together. Same thing on the other side. Legs have a rotation here, bend here, and both bends here. And then these pieces can go up and down for his jet mode, I guess, or his propulsion. And then the tail has a lot of bendy articulation. So again, really nice figure. I don't think there's many of these left, so if you want to pick this figure up, I would definitely go in the link in the description below and click on it. You're not going to be disappointed. It is certainly a striking figure, and once you transform it once or twice, it's not a bad transformation either. The instructions definitely could be better, but the only thing left, I guess, is if you want to peg these on the side of him, you can do that. The weapons peg in, or the sword can peg into the shield on the back right there. And then you can just peg this in to his leg, and it looks ridiculous, but if you want to do that, that option is there. And then just for a size comparison, here he is with Titan's Return. Titan's Return Skull Cruncher or Skull Smasher, and yeah, they actually do look good together. I kind of dig that. So thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Definitely have a lot of reviews in the pipeline for you, and as soon as I get my computer 100% up and running, they'll be coming a lot faster. So thank you guys, and we'll see you next time.